Hi everyone, SpiderMan 1991 here with my weekly comic book review video to discuss the comics that came out June 19th, 2013. First off, Invincible. Image, number 103. Got it digitally. Angstrom Levy returns and finds out that Invincible is alive. Meanwhile, Eve, aka Adam Eve, she and Mark meet with their baby doctor about their baby to see if their baby's fine, because Eve kind of realized that she used her powers to make the engagement ring, and she was advised not to use her powers, otherwise she could cut off nutrition to the baby, or her powers could take energy from the baby itself. And now she's taking that advice more seriously. Now she's starting to do normal stuff like drive a car instead of flying. She's had her first day of traffic, and that's something that she really doesn't enjoy. And when she comes home, she's immediately attacked by Angstrom Levy. And of course, she can't fight back because she doesn't want to use her powers. Fortunately, Mark shows up just in time, but Angstrom Levy, who has the ability to open portals to alternate universes, sends Mark to the Wasteland universe, which we saw back in Angstrom Levy's second appearance. Yeah, it was his second appearance, where he trapped Mark there before, and he was rescued by a future version of Guardians of the Globe. And Mark winds up in the Wasteland, and the issue ends with him meeting one of the alternate versions of himself that was sent to the alternate universe, where apparently he's become a cannibal. He's basically feast off of the other alternate Invincibles. Okay, that ending was pretty much of a little bit of a shocker there. I mean, not only did Mark find out that one of his evil counterparts is alive, but also he's a cannibal, which is pretty insane. Eve is definitely in danger because now she can't use her powers. Also, Angstrom Levy, he is definitely probably one of Invincible's big bad guys, probably on the A-list for villains, and he's out for revenge against Invincible, and now he's gonna kill. And so if Mark doesn't get back, he's gonna probably kill Eve, and Eve is completely defenseless because she can't use her powers. So yeah, nice little issue there. I would say pick it up if you've read Invincible before and you've loved all the Angstrom Levy story arcs. I did. This should be good. This should be another ballpark hit for Robert Kirkman on this title. I highly recommend Invincible because it's probably the best superhero title from Image. Okay, moving on to DC Comics with Animal Man number 21. Buddy Baker, to kind of keep his mind off of his son Cliff, and also his wife leaving him, and also apparently getting nominated for an award for the movie he did. He tries to get his mind off this by becoming Animal Man again and trying to find some missing pets that were missing in the Los Angeles area. And when he does find the missing pets, he finds the thief who stole them, and apparently the thief is kind of like stealing body parts from the animals, kind of like attaching them to him. It's really messed up when you see this guy in the book. And meanwhile, Buddy's daughter Maxine, who's the avatar for the Red, has started her training with the Red Totems, so that she can basically try to bring back her brother Cliff, because apparently her brother Cliff's life essence is still connected to the Red, and she could possibly bring him back. But I really don't think that's going to go well for Maxine. Also, when Buddy is going on his little quest to find the animal thief, after the animal thief gets away, Buddy is immediately hounded by paparazzi because of his fame now. So yeah, Animal Man by Jeff Lemire. This is a great title. I think it's a perfect combination of superhero themes and horror in the horror genre. So I think if you like those two, you should definitely pick up this book. However, I do think, even though Animal Man is a great series, it's not really for the faint of heart, because some of the artwork in this is a little creepy at times, especially all the stuff we've seen involving the Rot. All of that artwork is really, it's kind of creepy, not really for the faint of heart, so be warned if you want to pick up Animal Man. It really is more of a, I'd say 60-40, it's 50-50 superhero and horror, kind of mixed up. But it's a great fusion that works. Jeff Lemire's a good writer, a good writer of both those two genres, and he's doing a great job on Animal Man. I highly recommend this book. Next up, Batman and Batgirl, number 21. Batgirl starts to take note of Bruce's reckless behavior, and she confronts him about it. She even points out how crazy he's being. She even recorded footage of Bruce's new behavior and tries to show it to him to convince him. And then to try to get her to snap out of it, she kind of says like, if this is your big issue that you're missing Robin, fine, I'll put on the uniform and be Robin, be your new Robin. But of course, Batman refuses and then kicks her out of the cave. I really do like this story arc that we're doing right now. I think it's great for the Batman and Robin series since it's retitled and Batman's interacting with a new Batman fan member for like each of the 5 stages of grief. First off, for Denial, it was Red Robin, then Rage, Red Hood. Now we're in Bargaining. In this case, we're with Batgirl. This issue does contain a lot of references to what's going on in Batgirl. So if you haven't been reading Batgirl or you're waiting for the trades to come out and you want to check this issue out, be warned, there are spoilers for what's going on in Batgirl right now. But I still think that this part it still feels kind of the weakest one of the 5 stages of grief so far. But overall, it really does help the genre in a way. I mean, it doesn't really do so well conveying the whole bargaining thing. I mean, it's not so much that Batman is kind of... The only references of bargaining we get to are how earlier Batman offered to take the place of hostages in a hostage situation. Like, he would offer himself to the robbers in exchange for the other hostages going free, but they refused. He kicks their asses. And also it references how Batgirl offered to be the new Robin. Of course, Batman refuses. But yeah, I really think as a whole it sort of helps the whole 5 stages story arc, but as a single issue, not so much. And it really is more focused on a little more on Batgirl than I'd say Batman in this issue. Okay, now it's time for Marvel. Avengers number 14, Prelude to Infinity. All the different sites that were affected by Ex Nihilus' life bombs, or what were they called? Genesis bombs. Anyways, apparently they're all starting to activate. They're starting to send and receive signals with each other. And at the site that's on AIM Island, AIM decides to play one of those signals on loop. And when they do, something starts to come out of their pod, and that's what happens in this issue. Okay. Of course, Prelude to Infinity. So obviously, I'd say if you are going to read Infinity, which comes out in July. No, it starts in August. Sorry, my mistake. Infinity number 1 comes out in August. If you're going to read that event, then maybe you should try picking up Avengers right now if you can afford it. I have to admit, Hickman's work does seem to lead into something else. Like, he'll be working on one title and then just sort of guide it to another. Like, what happened on Fantastic Four was, first he wrote Fantastic Four, then after Johnny died we had FF, and then they brought Johnny back along with Fantastic Four. So obviously in this case, I think Hickman, everything he planned with Avengers 1 might be leading into what's going to happen with Infinity. But Avengers right now, I would say trade weighted. If you're not going to get Infinity, if you have no interest in it, I would say skip it. The only reason to get Avengers right now the only reason I think you should get Avengers is just for Infinity. If you're not, you can skip it. Alright, next up, Uncanny Avengers number 9. Captain America learns... Captain America is basically reviewing the message he got from someone in the future, and it's Immortus, who's an alternate version of Kang, or a counterpart of Kang. It's time travel, okay? It's confusing. And Immortus reveals that the Apocalypse Twins want to stop this moment of the Prime Timeline where it started to splinter off into seven different fractions. And apparently, if the Apocalypse Twins stop this event, then Earth and all of time will be destroyed. Again, time travel. It kind of gets confusing. But skipping that, Immortus left Cap a device that can help them find the Apocalypse Twins, but it gets destroyed by the enemy soldiers who've been following Captain America. But fortunately, Cap's saved by Wonder Man, and he's able to get back to Avengers Mansion. And meanwhile, Rogue and Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, start debating over over what Alex Summers said back at the press conference, which is that people should really start putting the whole human and mutant labels behind them and just focus on each other as one group. Rogue, however, doesn't. However, Wanda agrees with Alex. However, Rogue really doesn't believe that. She doesn't believe that mutants should be integrated into human culture. They should just be two separate groups that can just kind of coexist. However, Wanda agrees with Alex's point of view that they should just, forget mutant and human culture and just kind of come together as one. And trust me, it makes more sense when you actually read it. But anyway, and they're having this whole debate while the team's going through a danger room training session, and unfortunately though, their debate is cut off when Havoc and Captain America order all of the team into the meeting room where Cap confronts Logan about how he killed Warren Worthington and the Kid Apocalypse back in Uncanny X-Force. So, and of course Cap confronts Logan about X-Force's actions, and most of the Avengers, such as the Wasp, start to chastise Logan for what he did when he led X-Force. However, Thor defends Logan mainly because Thor understands he's a warrior as well, and also he feels responsible for the Apocalypse Twins because it was his axe, Jabberjorn, that they're using right now. And so, after this whole debate about whether what Logan did was right, the team splits off into two fractions, and pretty much Wolverine's leading a team that has Sunfire, Rogue, and Thor to go kill the Apocalypse Twins, whereas everyone else, whereas most of the Captain America, Wonder Man, Wasp, Scarlet Witch, and Havoc are just back in the mansion. And Alex warns everyone that they should stop fighting or split up because this is what they want. This is where we're going to lose. And this actually refers to something Immortus told Cap right before the message was cut off. He said, once divided, all is law, and that's where it cuts out. So I think Immortus was trying to say, once divided, all is lost. So obviously the Uncanny Avengers need to get back together soon. Otherwise, the Apocalypse Twins are going to win. And while the whole fractioning of the Uncanny Avengers is going on, or Avengers Unity Squad, that's their name within the Marvel Universe, the Apocalypse Twins have summoned their four horsemen, which are the Grim Reaper, Banshee, Daken, and the Sentry. Alright. Uncanny Avengers, very nice. I really do like this story arc. It's with the Apocalypse Twins. It's very great. I like how Remender is using his work on X-Force to help jumpstart this story arc. It's very nice. I mean, it does contain a lot of references to what Rick Remender did on Uncanny X-Force, which is a great series. I do recommend you check that one out as well. For those of you who haven't, you may be a little lost, but it does fill in a little bit of the gaps. And I mean, you don't necessarily need to read Remender's X-Force run for this, but I recommend them both because they work well. But back to the main issue at hand, Uncanny Avengers, very great. I like the debate between Rogue and Wanda. That was clever writing, and also how everyone starts, Captain America and Wasp are starting to call Wolverine, are like chastising Wolverine, but Thor comes to his defense. That was a great scene too. I highly recommend Uncanny Avengers right now. This is probably the best Avengers title you can get. And the last Marvel title is Superior Spider-Man number 12. Okay, Spider-Man's continuing his fight with the Spider Slayer. Then J. Jonah Jameson appears to try to help lend a hand with Spider-Man by stealing some weapons he found off a dead guard. Smythe heads off to the generator room to destroy the generator room because that's where the Spider-Bots, how the Spider-Bots are getting the power to function in the raft. And also Jameson makes Spider-Man swear that no matter what, he will do his job, which is to bring the Spider Slayer to justice, which in this case, execution. And so when Smythe heads off to the generator room, he sends in his newly equipped trio, Vulture, Scorpion, and Boomerang to deal with Spider-Man. And while they're dealing with him, Smythe destroyed the generator. However, it's the raft. There's tons of backups, so those kick in. But when the power goes out for a brief minute, some of the prison doors open, including one with the lizard. And pretty much when Smythe decides to head off to the backup generators, he orders his trio to kill everyone in the raft. Kill everyone else in the raft. And of course, Scorpion goes after Mayor Jameson, Vulture goes after the people who were at Smythe's execution, and Boomerang deals with Spider-Man, but it's Boomerang. He just basically throws some exploding boomerangs, but Spider-Man webs them to him and takes that sucker out. And the issue ends with Smythe taunting Spider-Man, saying he can either stop Vulture and save the people, or stop Scorpion and save the mayor. However, Spider-Man opts for neither of them, and he says that he has a job to do, and that's to slay the Spider Slayer. Okay, Superior Spider-Man, really great series. I enjoy it. The whole mind swap with Dr. Octopus is still a little controversial, but this is great. Also, I know that after this story arc, we're gonna get a new the Superior Spider-Man's gonna get a new costume change. As far, I think the whole Superior Spider-Man, the big thing is whether or not Otto is actually going to kill Smythe. Of course, we know that he has killed someone before, and he's critically injured several other foes. So obviously it might. So I think the most likely outcome is he will either kill or really critically injure the Spider Slayer. And nevertheless, this is still a great series. I mean, Dan Slott's doing a great job on it. I really have no complaints with it so far. So yeah, obviously Superior Spider-Man, awesome, definitely a buy. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. That's it for me. Quick little recap: Superior Spider-Man number 12, part 2. Part 2 of this 3-parter dealing with the Spider Slayer. Very nice. Probably Scorpion, Vulture, and Boomerang are probably going to lose all their enhancements at the end of this. Nevertheless, great. Uncanny Avengers number 9. Still recalling stuff from X-Force. Nevertheless, this is a great series. Recommender's doing a great job on this Avengers title. I highly recommend it to people. Avengers number 14. Only get this if you're going to read Infinity. Batman and Batgirl. Batgirl decides to bargain with Batman. He doesn't listen. Great story arc, but this is probably so far this is the weakest of the 5 stages. And Animal Man number 21. Great combination of horror and great combination of horror and a superhero genre. Highly recommend you pick it up if you like those two things. And Invincible number 103. I was trying to unlock my iPad. This thing automatically locked right when I put it down. So Invincible 103. Angstrom Levy's back. Eve's in trouble because she can't use her powers. Mark's trapped in an alternate universe with a cannibalistic version of himself. Hopefully things work out. Okay, and that's it for me. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. SpiderMan 1991 saying see you later.